There are countries in the world that seem shrouded in mystery, places where information is so tightly controlled that even the biographies of their leaders resemble myths. Today, we will delve into the history of one such figure, Kim Jong Il, a man who led one of the world's most reclusive states, North Korea, for nearly 2 decades. His rule was marked by nuclear ambitions, economic hardship, and an unprecedented cult of personality. But who was he, really, and how did he shape the destiny of millions? Kim Jong Il, officially born on February 16, 1941, on the sacred Mount Paektu, as claimed by North Korean propaganda, had a mystical birth, supposedly heralded by the appearance of a double rainbow and a new star. However, according to declassified Soviet archives and eyewitness accounts, his true birthplace was the village of Vyatskoye, Khabarovsk Krai, USSR, where his father, Kim Il-sung, was in exile as a battalion commander in the Soviet 88th Independent Rifle Brigade. His birth name was Yuri Arsenovich Kim. This fact, contradicting the official version, underscores the deep roots of secrecy and mystification surrounding the Kim dynasty. Very little is known about his childhood and youth. After the family's return to Korea in 1945, Kim Jong Il likely attended a school for children of high-ranking officials in Pyongyang. His official education included studies at Kim Il-sung University in Pyongyang, from which he graduated in 1964 with a degree in political economy. This period was crucial for his political hardening. It was here that he reportedly deeply studied the ideas of Juche, the ideology of self-reliance, developed by his father, which became the foundation of the North Korean regime. During his student years, he was also an active figure in the Democratic Youth League of North Korea, where, according to official data, he demonstrated his leadership and organizational skills. Kim Jong Il's career rapidly developed from the late 1960s. After the so-called Kapsan faction incident in 1967, when widespread purges of party officials deemed an anti-party, anti-revolutionary faction were carried out, Kim Jong Il played a significant role in the loyalty campaign for his father, Kim Il-sung. This event allowed him to strengthen his position within the Workers' Party of Korea and begin his ascent up the party ladder. From 1969, Kim Jong Il held positions in the propaganda and agitation department. This was a key period during which he gained decisive influence over the formation of state ideology and North Korea's propaganda machine. It was under his leadership that the 10 principles for the establishment of a monolithic ideological system were developed and implemented in 1974. These principles not only codified the Juche ideology but also cemented absolute loyalty to Kim Il-sung and his family, effectively making them deified figures, and became the cornerstone of North Korean society, controlling all aspects of citizens' lives. In 1973, Kim Jong Il became secretary of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, marking his official entry into the top leadership. By the mid-1970s, he was already openly considered his father's official successor, which was unusual for communist regimes of that time. His positions continued to strengthen, and in 1991, he was appointed Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army, which was the final key step towards a complete transfer of power and cemented his control over the most important institution in North Korea. Following Kim Il-sung's death in 1994, Kim Jong Il officially inherited power. He observed a 3-year mourning period before assuming the title of General Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea. However, he de facto governed the country immediately after his father's death. His rule is often characterized as a triumvirate, where power was shared between him, the military, and the party apparatus, although Kim Jong Il, as the principal heir and leader, maintained absolute control and the final say. North Korea's economy under Kim Jong Il faced catastrophic challenges. The country experienced a devastating famine in the mid-1990s, known as the Arduous March. This period, caused by a combination of natural disasters, the cessation of Soviet aid, and an inefficient centralized planning system, led to the deaths of hundreds of thousands, and by some estimates, several million people. In response to these problems and to consolidate his power, Kim Jong Il implemented the Sun Gun policy, or military first. This policy prioritized the allocation of resources to the armed forces, even at the expense of the civilian population. This allowed him not only to maintain control over the country but also to actively develop its nuclear program, viewing it as the sole guarantee of regime survival. It was during his reign that North Korea conducted its first nuclear tests in 2006 and 2009. Kim Jong Il's foreign policy was aimed at ensuring the regime's survival and the development of its nuclear arsenal. Relations with South Korea were unstable, alternating between periods of tension and brief attempts at dialogue. There were moments of South Korea's sunshine policy, involving cooperation and aid, but these were often interrupted by provocations from the North, such as the sinking of the South Korean corvette Cheonan in 2010. Relations with Japan remained strained due to the issue of Japanese citizens abducted by North Korean agents in the 1970s. Interaction with the United States was primarily through multilateral negotiations on the nuclear program, six-party talks, which often ended inconclusively due to North Korea's unwillingness to abandon its nuclear ambitions. The cult of personality surrounding Kim Jong Il was no less intense than that of his father, and in some respects, even surpassed it. He was propagated as the great leader and father of the nation, and his images, statues, and quotations were ubiquitous. Thousands of monuments dedicated to him and his father existed throughout the country, and absolute loyalty to him was an absolute requirement for every citizen. The state propaganda apparatus created images depicting him as a genius in all fields, from military strategy to art. Throughout the final years of his rule, rumors repeatedly circulated about Kim Jong Il's deteriorating health and his potential death. Western intelligence agencies actively monitored any signs that might indicate changes in his condition. In 2008, he suffered a stroke, which led to increased speculation about his successor. His public appearances became rarer, and in photographs, he appeared more emaciated. The issue of succession became key during this period. Although he had 3 sons, there was no clear favorite for a long time. Eventually, in late 2010, signs began to emerge that Kim Jong-un, the youngest son, was being prepared to assume power. His rapid advancement through the party and military ranks indicated that Kim Jong-il was actively grooming him for the role of leader. It was officially announced that Kim Jong-il died on December 17, 2011, at the age of 69, according to the official North Korean version, from a heart attack during a train journey. His death prompted national mourning in North Korea, accompanied by massive public displays of grief. His successor, as expected, was his youngest son, Kim Jong-un, who continued the policy of dynastic rule, inheriting both his father's power and his nuclear ambitions.